Hey, 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 what's up? Today, we're going to be talking about the time I fell out of a tree and I shattered my spleen. So, it was my 9th birthday, and I get home from school, and I wanted to go out and play around and climb trees. So, I find the biggest tree in our backyard, and it's about 20 feet tall. So I'm like climbing it. It's like reaching the second story of our house, and then I get to the next branch, grab it, and it breaks. And so then I start like falling. I start falling. So you know how like in your dreams or whatever, if you ever had a dream to whenever you're like falling or like skydiving, it was like that. So you're like staring at the ground, and I saw like my arms and stuff, and then I slowly hit like I was slowly going to the ground, and I smacked the ground, and then for like a few seconds everything was black, and then my body like forces itself up. So it was weird. It felt like I was conscious, but not really. And then I managed to like walk 10 feet until like my body realizes, oh, I'm not breathing. So I didn't even breathe that whole time. And then I took another breath, and then my first breath, and then I couldn't breathe. So I was like, I was literally like wheezing, trying to get air. So I was like crouched over, like I was like Walter from Breaking Bad, like it was bad. I was like struggling to get any amount of air, and so I entered my house, and we have stairs. So I was trying to make it up the stairs. I was like crawling on the damn stairs, trying to get to like a couch or something to lay down. And my mom finds me. She's like, "What's wrong, honey?" And I'm like, I can't even speak. I'm like, I can't breathe. And then she helps me to the couch, and then they start like calling the hospital. And then my dad and mom like take me to the hospital, and it's kind of iffy what happened in that part. So then we got to the hospital, and then they started doing scans on me and stuff, and they found out that my spleen was shattered, which basically, so it was like shattered, so that means it was like in pieces or whatever. So what they decide, oh, and it was I was internally bleeding too, which was the problem. So they just had me like lay down and stuff, and they didn't do like any operations on me, that I don't remember. They might have. It's been so long. And so I remember they got me into a helicopter, and they gave me some like type of medication that made my nose itch. And they thought I had like a damaged neck. They didn't know. So they put me in like this burrito thing, and I couldn't move. And so my mom hopped into me with the helicopter, and we flew to San Antonio because the hospital there at in our Seguin wasn't good enough. So we got farmed out to San Antonio. But my mom had to like scratch my nose because the medication would make my nose itchy. So she was like scratching my nose every like 5 or 10 seconds. So then we land, and then now we're in San Antonio into this new hospital. And I just remember that they were basically monitoring me, and I was lying in bed most of the time. So I was lying in bed for 2 weeks basically, and of course, like on and off, they made me get up out of the chair and stuff to like walk, but well, we'll get to there eventually. So I remember whenever I first landed, they wouldn't let me up out of the bed. So for like the first week, I couldn't move from the bed. So then they got this machine. Yeah, it was like this machine, and they stuck into my penis. Yeah, this thing sucked. So they put this thing in my penis to where whenever I peed, it would go through the tube and into like this bag. And that shit was one of the most painful things it was so mad uncomfortable. But yeah, so I had to deal with that for like a whole ass week. And then they took it off. And then the next week was like me trying to walk again. And that was like nuts. So I turned into like basically a couch potato. I'm like in the bed. I've been watching like TV and playing games because the hospital served that kind of stuff. And I didn't have much of an appetite either. But So I got up out of bed and I literally had to grab my IV and walk like an old man just to get around because my body was like having the worst time trying to walk. It was awful. I had to use the walls and my IV just to get around. It was crazy. And then after that, what happened after that? Yeah, so basically what they found out is that yeah, my spleen shattered, and that was the only damage I had, which was surprising because I felt like and like belly flop, so I was thinking there would be more damage, but yeah, that was it. And basically for a whole year after I get discharged from the hospital, for a whole year I wasn't able to do any physical activity. Like I couldn't run, I couldn't swim, I couldn't do any of that. Well, I could walk and stuff, but I wasn't able to like exert myself physically, which sucked. Because I was like a really active kid, so and during like PE and stuff, I wouldn't be able to like do anything. I had to sit down and sit out for a whole year. Um, let's see. So that sucked. And because of that, I got more into games and stuff. So that was cool. Yeah, and so yeah, then so my spleen like regenerated. So yeah, apparently like spleens can do that. So my spleen is not 100%. It's like damaged, but I don't think my body needs it to be 100% anymore because it's more like for your when you're younger. But yeah, so then my spleen fully healed. Not fully healed, but you know what I mean. So it like got to it's fully regenerated, so it's able to be used. So yeah, that was my time when my spleen was shattered. It was a rough experience, but here I am. All right.